Today's story is about one of the most famous figures of history, Alexander the Great, conqueror of half the known world, founder of cities, builder of an empire that spanned 3 continents. And yet, his end is shrouded in mystery, because some historians, and at least one modern medical theory, suggest that Alexander wasn't dead when his body was placed in the coffin. He may have been buried alive. In 323 BC, at the height of his power, Alexander fell ill in Babylon. He was only 32 years old. Accounts say he developed a fever, lost the ability to speak, and gradually became paralyzed. After several days, his soldiers asked to see him one last time. He could no longer speak, but allegedly raised his hand to acknowledge them. Shortly after, he was pronounced dead. But here's the first strange detail. Ancient writers tell us that Alexander's body showed no signs of decay for days, even in the hot Mesopotamian sun. Some saw it as a miracle, proof of his divinity. Others see it as something else, a clue. Modern scholars have proposed a medical explanation, Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare autoimmune disorder that can cause paralysis while leaving a person fully conscious. If Alexander had GPS, it could explain why he appeared motionless, silent, and unresponsive, yet wasn't truly dead. Combine that with the limited medical knowledge of his time, and it's possible his doctors simply mistook deep paralysis for death. And if that's true, Alexander may have been alive, trapped in his own body, as the funeral began. Another curious detail: Alexander's body wasn't immediately buried. For nearly 2 years, his corpse was kept while his generals fought over his empire. Eventually, his body was taken to Egypt, where it was interred in Alexandria. The supposed lack of decay during those early days only fueled the idea that something unusual happened. To believers in the buried alive theory, this wasn't a miracle, it was biology. Alexander hadn't started to decompose because he wasn't yet dead. The idea of Alexander being buried alive has haunted imaginations for centuries. It fits with his most superhuman legend, a man who could conquer the world, but was felled by his own body in a way both tragic and terrifying. It also reminds us how fragile medicine was in the ancient world. Without modern tools, death was a judgment call, and sometimes that call might have been made too soon. So, was Alexander the Great buried alive? We can't know for sure. Maybe the reports of his incorruptible body were just exaggerations, or myth-making by followers desperate to see him as a god. But maybe, just maybe, the conqueror of the known world suffered one final, cruel twist of fate, alive, aware, but unable to move or speak, as history marched on without him. That's the mystery, that's the legend, and that's what makes history so endlessly strange.